this world, you have to work hard. Well, you don't have to, but you have to at least work. Well, you should work. Or you can just slum it and leech off of someone else's Netflix account. It's surprising how many people opt for that one. Failing that, sitting back and blaming everything on your skin colour is an option too. And a strong one, because while we're often told there are negative aspects of being a certain race, Mike.com are here to show us there are also benefits. They don't mean to do that, of course, but Mike.com never get anything right, do they? So, pack your school bags. We're talking affirmative action.
I was talking to a girl who got off the wait list. She said to me, I would have gotten in earlier too if I was also a black sob story.
Well, is she wrong though? And if upon hearing this we're supposed to sit here and think, gee, you poor girl, then isn't this too a black sob story? Just saying. Students of colour take on the critics of affirmative action. Students of colour? How long has that been a thing? What's next? Babies of colour? Doctors of colour? Chess pieces of colour? How long until this starts affecting the real stuff? Like some guy trying to defuse a bomb being told to cut the wire of colour. Well, damn, Steve, they're all one colour or another. I'm out here trying to save lives, not protect people's feelings.
Affirmative action does not hurt or steal opportunity from one group of people.
Here's the thing, Christian. I thought that was a dude's name, 2019 man. But here's the thing, Christian. It does hurt and steal opportunities from one group of people. Because whatever of colour means anything but white, doesn't it? If someone were offered a placement because they were white, you'd totally agree with me.
In order to just hand it out to another group of people without any work being involved.
But if that were the case, it wouldn't be affirmative action, it would be applying for something. Imagine working for days, maybe even weeks on your application essay for Stanford, only for that spot to be given to some guy who wrote Black Lives Matter over and over and over. There's no work involved there besides copy-paste, but it happened.
So affirmative action just gives an opportunity for those individuals that aren't trying and we're giving the short end of the stick.
So those who are convinced that their pigmentation means they're somehow disadvantaged, and then they get offered opportunities based on nothing but their skin colour, but are still convinced they're disadvantaged even though they've been offered opportunities based on nothing but their skin colour. And that's what that's based on, Elvis. Elvis. You could cite poverty, but there are white families with the same problems as non-white families, and they aren't offered positions through affirmative action, are they? No, too pale.
As a person of color in an Ivy League institution, I would always have to defend myself and explain my existence on campus.
Yeah, when other people have had to work hard to get to that position and you've just sauntered in because of your race, I can see why they'd have questions. I mean, this is Ivy League we're talking about. Normally you'd have to walk around being smart or athletic or something, but not you. Oh no, you're a person of colour. If someone asks how you got in, just point to your skin. Enough said, right?
I was accepted into a competitive diversity scholarship program.
Keyword, diversity. And I know what you're thinking, but that just means a wide range of applicants. Well, in this case, it actually means any colour but white, which is excluding based on race. I remember when that was generally considered to be a dick move. What happened?
And I was at school one day talking about it, and one of my white classmates overheard us, and she made it a point to stop and say, well, I sure wish that I could get a scholarship just for being black.
Well, yeah, that's actually what's going on, isn't it? When you get pulled over because you're black, it's racial profiling. But when you get given a scholarship because you're black, it's affirmative action. If there are special scholarships specifically for minorities, why stop there? Why not have special bathrooms for minorities and your own drinking fountains? No? Too racist for you? Well, now you see my point.
My experience with affirmative action is that we as students of color are always up for debate. Why we got in, how we got in, and whether or not we're qualified to be here.
I wonder why that is, Kristen. Is it because it creates two different classes of people by imposing different standards on them? I think it is. Even looking at the list of Caucasian scholarships from scholarships.com, there are 11. 4 for underrepresented backgrounds and ethnic diversity, which basically means white people can apply to, but you're not likely to get it, old chum. 2 of them are only for women, 2 for the Polish, 1 for the Irish, 1 for Greek, and 1 for those who are at least 25% Italian. Oddly specific, I know. Now let's look at the scholarships for African Americans, and way, that's far too many to even count. Except I did count, there are 191. Not looking so disadvantaged now, eh?
Just that questioning, it really creates this
Come on, Elvis, use your words.
imposter syndrome. Do I really belong here?
Well, if you got that placement because of your race, then no, Elvis. You had to go through the soft bigotry of low expectations, didn't you? You're there because of a race-specific scholarship and a race-specific quota, meaning you likely took that place from someone who actually deserved it.
And yes, to all the people of color watching this, yes, you do belong here.
Yes, well done on being a minority. What an achievement! You've earned this spot by simply existing. The Justice Department would investigate affirmative action policies. Well, good! I mean, I think they should be abolished. It puts far too much value on race, doesn't it? Either skin colour doesn't matter, or it does matter. You can't have it both ways. Oh, look, it's Jeff Sessions, an old white guy. I guess affirmative action is a good thing then. Great argument, Mike.com. You swayed me. Which alleges Harvard admissions gave preference to other minorities over Asian Americans. So now they're fighting amongst themselves. I'm more disadvantaged. No, I'm more disadvantaged. Why is there any preference at all? I mean, surely all you want is someone who's going to keep the pass rate up. This is meant to be a prestigious place of higher education, not a community college. They've shed some light on misconceptions about affirmative action. Yeah, while investigating Harvard for having racial preferences in who they enroll. Not sure how that works, but do go on.
But to consider people who are in affirmative action as people who are quota fillers, people who are taking spots, is to say that you already think that you're better.
No, it's you saying you aren't as good. It's saying I can't compete with everyone else and they had to lower the bar for me to be here, but that's because of my skin. You know, in the UK, affirmative action is known as positive discrimination, which quite frankly is bullshit. You can put as many words at the beginning as you want. It won't change what it is. It's like saying, oh no, that's reverse racism. No, mate, it's just good old-fashioned racism.
Various Fortune 500 companies have agreed a more diverse workforce is better business. You have diverse ideas.
Why? How? Isn't implying people of varying pigmentations have different minds going down a bit of a dark path? Whatever happened to beneath the skin, we're all the same? Wasn't that a better way to live than saying, let's hear some Hispanic ideas?
The point of creating a holistic class is to create together a group of people who can learn from each other, who can inspire each other, and also challenge each other.
I think you're challenged enough, Gabby.
I remember one time I had a student in one of my classes say that the reason that the Baltimore riots happened was because the people there were poor and uneducated.
And there was me thinking it was because a black guy named Freddie Gray sustained injuries to his neck and spine while in transport in a police vehicle. That and, you know, tribalism. Oh, and looting. Don't forget the looting.
And of course, being one of the few students of color in that class, I immediately raised my hand to tell them that they were dead wrong.
Pretty poor choice of words considering Freddie Gray later died from his injuries, Kristen. But no, I'm sure you gained some special knowledge into the matter because you're a student of color. There's no way a white person could know any of that.
And if I hadn't done that, they would have probably not learned something that day.
Well then, why are you even there if you clearly know everything? It's like picking a character class in an RPG game, isn't it? I often go with wizards so I can use magic and stuff, but next time I'm gonna be a student of color so I have a hereditary knowledge about all racial issues that my white counterparts couldn't possibly fathom.
In the long run, it's not beneficial for us if we just have a monolith group of culture and dominating idea.
Yes, because all people of a certain race think in exactly the same way, don't they?
Only succeeding.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were done. Work on your speaking, Elvis. You're in an Ivy League institution and you talk like you have global developmental disorder.
You're trying to go to college to become a better person, to learn about the world around you. It's important to create a diverse class.
Yeah, I mean, who wants to go to college just to learn white things? Gabby, the subject matter doesn't change because of your skin. There's not different sciences for different races. If you think you're gonna have a better grasp in a certain field because you had an Eskimo in your class, then you are seriously messed up, lady.
And that's essentially what the affirmative action helps people do.
Nah, it gets people into jobs and higher education based on their colour. That's all it does. Well, maybe it teaches that person they don't need to try as hard as everyone else and that they can achieve anything by playing the race card, and to be fair, that will probably get you quite far in the current year. But in the grand scheme of things, if anyone thinks affirmative action is going to solve any problems, they need to go back to school. Thanks for watching, guys! Please consider becoming a patron so I can pay off my student debt. And check me out on BitChute no matter how qualified you are. The links are in the description, and remember, in the words of Martin Luther King, give me a degree, nigger.